excited to be talking to Rikketta Franklin today. I met her last month at a Blaze virtual summit. It was phenomenal. To this day, I still can't even really remember how I met her, but it was like the best thing that ever hit my life. So I will continue, on that wave. And I'm just so happy and thankful that she's joining us today for a fresh episode of Just Be You. So we're just going to kind of get right into it and say hi. And Rikketta, you could just, introduce yourself and just let the people know who you are and where you're from.
Okay, well, hey, my name is Rikketta Franklin, and it's really a pleasure to be here. I wanted to thank you for having me today.
Of course.
So I'm a wife. I am a serial hobbyist, and I'm also the CEO of Cynette Consulting, where I help diverse leaders with communication and active listening skills that really foster connection and supportive work environments. I love to read in my spare time. I'm an avid tea drinker. I'm drinking a little loose leaf tea today since I'm at home.
Very nice.
And I love to watch documentaries.
Oh, yeah. So what's your favorite tea and what's your favorite documentary right now?
Okay, so my favorite tea right now, I am drinking one from a local coffee house.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's called Blueberry Bingo. They have a full wall full of loose leaf teas and like white tea, black tea, herbal teas, and you can buy it like by the pound. So
nice.
I'm doing the blueberry tea today. I'm feeling something big and fruity.
Well, I definitely love the name Blueberry Bingo. It sounds very festive and like I'm about to win some big money or something today.
Right.
So I love it. But before I get into the real questions, I want to do a little like this or that, just a little fun, just kind of like ease it up a little bit.
Okay.
So I found some really fun this or that questions, and you could just let me know what your preference is, and you can just expound on it a little bit if you want, completely up to you, but
okay.
we'll get into it. So, do you prefer audiobooks or physical books?
I prefer physical books.
Yes, for me, I love the smell of the fresh pages. I don't know what it is, but that just tickles my fancy.
Yeah, and it gets both senses. Like I get to hold it and then I'm also seeing it. Sometimes I wonder a little bit with audiobooks, but I'm willing to try some more, maybe some different genres.
Yes. What are you currently reading something?
Yes, I'm currently reading, I forget the name of the author, but Pleasure Activism.
Ooh, very nice. I have to write that down. Pleasure Activism.
Yes, please do.
Activism. Cool. So music festivals or food festivals?
Can I pick both? I'll say music festivals.
Okay. I mean, you're entitled to pick both because when I thought about it, I was like, ooh, which one do I want more? They're both so much fun. So you can have it your way.
Okay.
Okay, so do you hire for talent or experience?
I hire for talent.
Ooh, okay. Well, so for you, what kind of separates the two?
There are things that can be taught and there are things that cannot be taught. And someone with raw talent, you can't always teach that, but I'm a trainer. That's what I do. I do adult education. I can teach you anything. So I'll hire for talent.
I like that. So remote or in office?
Remote.
All day?
All day.
Okay. So would you rather a dog or a cat?
A dog.
Okay, man, woman's best friend in this case. We'll take that. Would you rather meet Michelle Obama or Oprah?
Ooh. I'd rather meet Oprah.
Oprah, okay. I like that. Why?
Well, Oprah's like warmth and journalistic ability, I think she'd be able to pull things out of me that I did not even know were there.
Oh, I like that. I mean, yeah, she does have like that dynamic, like appeal that it's just like, ooh, if I did speak to Oprah, I don't even know what to say. I think I would probably stumble over my words all over the place. So,
I think she'd guide you though. I think she'd really lead and guide a great conversation. I would love to sit down and have a conversation with her.
yeah, and she really does have an amazing story. So she has really overcome some things. So I will take that. Okay, and the last question, what's your favorite place to travel?
My favorite place to travel is Orlando or Florida in general. I love to go to Florida, but I used to live in Orlando, so I love to visit.
Cool. What's the hottest place to go in Orlando?
Like, I haven't been in a while, so things have changed.
Hmm.
Um, but I like to just go down Orange Avenue at night, and sometimes during holidays and stuff, they close down the whole street. It's full of bars, restaurants, lounges, clubs. So you can like literally park and just walk and bar hop and club hop all night long.
Very cool. I have to check out that. You said it was Orange Street?
Orange Avenue,
Orange
downtown
Avenue.
Orlando.
I have to go back to that because I mean I
And
went
there's something for everyone.
that is true. That's one of the things I do like about Orlando, have an appreciation for. I went, this was pre-pandemic. But it was phenomenal. I was like, oh, I like Orlando. So I agree. Cool. So what kind of originally, I know you kind of touched upon this at the Blaze Summit, but for those that haven't watched it, and I will drop the link for the summit in the notes because you can still catch the replays. That's the beauty of Blaze. That's one of the main things I fell in love with. You have access to the videos for 3 months after the air date. So that's dope. And I really recommend you guys just check it out. There was a lot of amazing information there that was really genuine. It was felt, and it's an amazing community. I just started with them and it's an amazing community. But can you tell me a little bit more about Cynette Consulting and kind of what drove you there? Because when you first came on the scene, I was just like, I got so excited by your passion for just community and just what you were doing that I was just like, oh, I like her. So I really felt your energy through the TV. So just tell us a little bit more about Cynette Consulting.
Yeah, so as a net consultant, like I mentioned earlier, I help diverse leaders with communication and active listening skills that foster connection and supportive work environments. I do that through workshops, keynote experiences like you saw at the Blaze conference, and I also do that through the social experience, which is a facilitated networking event that just helps people connect through commonality. So that's what I do as a net consultant. We connect folks.
Nice. So what are some of the tools that you kind of teach people in terms of like active listening? What are some good ways to practice that?
So some good ways to practice active listening is to really understand the communication styles of others.
Mm-hmm.
When you know how they communicate, you can kind of adjust yourself so that you can listen a little appropriately, because we all communicate just a little differently. No communication style is better than the other. It's just different. But a way to practice your active listening skills is to listen to a song. It could be a song you've heard before or one that you haven't listened, or look at the lyrics and really express what it is that they're trying to say, or really dig deep to understand the emotion that the artist is trying to convey, but just with the words.
I like that because people connect with music, and I connect with music, and I'm not even gonna lie, me singing song lyrics is not really my forte. I usually mix them up, and everybody's always like, well, what are you singing? I'm like, it's my own song. Like, it's my version, it's my remix, and just kind of like leave it alone. So my husband is always saying, oh, well, like if you just like listen to it, like this is what the person is saying, or he somehow interprets something completely different. And I'm like, okay, maybe I wasn't listening. Maybe it was the beat that caught me, but it's It's okay. So I like that approach. Next time when I listen to a song, I'll listen to it a little differently.
Yeah, and sometimes it helps. I know for me, like I'm really a visual learner in a lot of
Mhm.
ways. So even when I first listen to a song or like a project, I'll listen to it the first time with the lyrics.
Okay. I like
Yeah.
I like that. I'm gonna note to self.
I'm glad I'm happy I can help. I promise.
Yes, 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 yes. So I mean, I don't, well, do you use like some kind of like checklist? Because like let's say you don't have access to like a song or you're not in the environment where you can listen to a song. What are some other things that you can do to just kind of figure out a person's communication preference?
Really just listening. Like there are folks who are more direct. People who are more direct are usually going to give you things in a list manner, right? So if
Mhm.
you go to that friend, that supervisor, that family member who's always very direct in their communication, you can be certain that that list is coming, right? Because they
Mhm.
want you to do this, this, and this. They're very direct, very explicit. There are some people who really just communicate the idea to you, right?
Mhm.
You know that they are a big idea person. So bogging them down with some logistics or specifics sometimes can hinder how they communicate. So
Mhm.
you really want to go with the big idea and just make sure that you understand what the goal is. But they may not give you that list that the other person may give you. So just understanding who a person is, because I think sometimes because we wouldn't do it a certain way or because we wouldn't say it a certain way, we
Mhm.
don't always receive it. But being open to listening instead of waiting to respond.
Yeah, that part.
That part, right?
Because I feel like that's just something like we all struggle with, as a whole. It's like, even just from somebody's body language, it's like you start to formulate something in your own mind and you're like, oh, wait, I know what they're going to say, but you really don't. And it's just like, okay, just give it a second, let the full thought come out, and then let's see, what we're reacting to or responding to. So that is,
Yeah, and let's see what questions we now have with this new information. Because any
yeah.
information that was given before is old information. We can't assume that that is what we're going to receive at this time. So getting that new information, giving yourself time to readjust to what it is, and really asking the questions needed for clarity and not asking questions just because you want to talk at someone or
Mhm.
because you may want to humiliate that person or because you believe that you are right and you want to show them that they aren't. That's not fair. That's
Right.
not active, and that doesn't like build connection. That drives disconnection.
Gotcha. Okay, so what do you think are some of the biggest barriers in the way that we're communicating with each other, whether it's at work or just, day-to-day personal time with friends or family?
I think some things that are barriers to our communication are distractions.
Hmm.
Like, even when we believe we may be in a distraction free zone, like, this was meant to be a distraction free zone for me, but somewhere my iPad is going off. And not to say that I'm not like in it and I'm not, in this conversation with you, but every time it dings, even if it's just for a quick second, I'm like, I wonder who that is, what that is. Is that an email? Is that Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Like, and just having to like realign it and bring it back. But with our phones, with our tablets, with our computers, just all of the notifications and the things, right? Like even if this is a distraction-free zone and you hear like your Ring camera, like who could that be? Did I have a package today? I was supposed to come yesterday. And it really takes you out of the moment, and
Right.
centering that person who is, trying to convey something to you.
Yeah, that's it's usually the simple things that really just kind of like take you away, and then you end up in like a downward spiral, like, wait, how did I spend like an hour on this one thing? Like, when did this, occur? So that's just, it's amazing. It's a lot of self-reflection. I'm like, yeah, I can see that. So So that's great. So was there, oh, and this is something that I have been wanting to ask you from the last time we spoke. Was there what burden did you leave at Blaze? Or did you have a burden to leave at Blaze?
I did have a burden to leave at Blaze, and it was the thought that I was doing this alone. Like, I knew that I had some help, but before Blaze, I just felt like I was just doing everything by myself. I need a partner, like, what
Mm,
would have helped if I had a business partner, and just really doubting the solo part of this journey. And being at Blaze let me know that, one, I'm not the only one uh, suffering, overcoming in the ways that I am. There are others. And now I have this network of folk that I can lean on, whether it is socially, personally, business wise, like opening that network in more ways than just tasks that need to happen for the business.
that's beautiful.
Yeah, I had not, I was a part of some communities and I am a part of some communities, but this one just really connected for me, and being in a space that was designed for me and ready to receive me however I am. And that felt great as well, that I can show up however I am and however I need to be and however I want to be, and still be received and respected and praised. Like, it just felt so wonderful.
It did. And it just kind of to feel the authenticity, through the camera. And outside of the fact that I loved Air Meet, that was the first time I was introduced
I
to it.
know, right?
I thought it was a really great platform. So guys, find out more about Air Meet, because it was amazing. I'm like, oh, I gotta get into this a little bit more. But it was really just that camaraderie, and it was just like, oh wow, like although we were virtually, I can still say I felt like I was in the room with like all you ladies, and I was like, like in the comments, like, oh, looking around my own room, like, oh hey girl, like how you doing? As if
Yeah.
I was really there. So it was definitely a very, very cool experience.
And the chat was crazy, wasn't it? It was going
Yeah.
up every session.
It was, and like snapping the fingers and the hearts, and they were like, yes girl. So it was just nice to have like a real, champion like in your corner, although
Yeah.
we all have different stories and walks of life. But it was definitely the best way for me to end 2022 and come into 2023 with that different spirit. So I can appreciate that. So can you tell me a little bit more about Kinfolk Collective? Where are they today? Or how's the collective going today?
Yes. So Kinfolk Collective is our co-working community for entrepreneurs and professionals of color, where we really just pull up with our devices, our to-do list, maybe some snacks, definitely some water. Um, and we're able to just get some work done amongst kinfolks, around like-minded people who share the same successes and challenges. So we haven't met yet this year. I've just been giving myself some grace. I'm stepping back a little bit from Kinfolk Collective to reframe how I view it and how I choose to execute.
Okay.
I love having the co-working space, but to be, the primary person just in charge of finding the spaces and, getting the folks together, it is some energy and some effort. And right now I'm just giving myself a little grace. I'm
Yeah.
slowly walking myself into 2023. I think yesterday was the first day I like sat at my desk and did some work. So I'm not sure, but I want to I'm looking into what a virtual space may look like for Kinfolk
Okay.
Collective, because time is just really so precious and it just takes time. So just working on prioritizing the things that make me feel good and the things that feed into me, and not forcing what I think comes next for Kinfolk Collective, but really taking my time to develop that.
Yeah, and I can honestly like appreciate you saying that, because I feel like, especially like in the world we live in with social media, everything just, it feels like it has to be go, 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 go. And if you just take your time, it just almost feel like you're showing up too late, or when like the tide is already turned and you're just like, wait, where'd everybody go? Like, so I have an appreciation for that, and I'm just kind of, I've been telling myself like it's okay to slow down, or just take my time with, you know, different aspects, and everything just doesn't always have to feel like a rush, because, you know, we should do things with intention, and, you know, contrary to how other people would do things, you know, you have to do what's true and best for you, and, you know, speaks to your character and what you're bringing to the table. So just thank you for that. It's okay to slow
Yeah,
down.
it's okay.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So what are you looking forward to most this year in 2023?
So in 2023, I am looking forward to taking my life back. This
Ooh.
journey of entrepreneurship has taught me some things. It has shown me some things about myself. And at one point, at least within the last couple of months, I have been letting the business run me, and I have not been running the business.
Mm,
So, getting back to my core, connecting back to my values, doing things that bring me joy and pleasure, and really just taking care of myself, and knowing that the more that I take care of myself, the more readily I show up as my authentic self in my business as well.
I love that. So you mentioned core values. How did you come up with your core values? Was it like a situation, or were you like meditating on it?
So I came up with my core values because, to be honest, it's a workshop that I facilitate. There's a core values workshop derived from Taproot, and it going through the process, it helps you define your core values. And mine are thoughtfulness, freedom, community, responsibility, and empathy. So making sure that I am doing things within those realms. And if I find things that I am confused about or unsure about, connecting them to my core values. Like, does this help me take responsibility? Does this promote community? Am I acting with empathy? Am I living in freedom? Am I seeking opportunities for thoughtfulness? Like, and if it's no to those things, then I have to stop giving energy to that, or I need to find ways to step up and come into alignment so that I am being thoughtful, so that I am being, empathetic, so that I am being of value to my community. So yeah, the core values workshop through I facilitate those through Cynette Consulting as well. So I want to help people define their core values so that they know where their compass is. So when you are out of alignment, you have like that anchor to bring you back, but also to set some intentionality about how you decide to show up in the world. Because how you decide to show up in the world also influences the way that you communicate and connect with others. Like, working on self and talking to other folks are not something that are mutually exclusive, but the self awareness part must come first so
Right.
that we can like bring those things together and marry them.
Okay. So it kind of sounds like you do like some kind of self-development work within your consulting business. Is that true? Or how do you kind of like mesh them in? Is it like a questionnaire or journaling, or just how do you like really define those values and those self-awareness components?
That's a really, really good question. Well, the mission of Cynette Consulting is so through intentional learning experiences, we apply knowledge that promotes action.
Hmm.
So knowing yourself and knowing who you are and what you want out of life really helps you act. It shows in your actions. So my purpose is to facilitate critical reflection, is to challenge current perspectives, and then develop competencies like through theory. I have a master's degree in adult education, and also through experiential knowledge, like my own experiences and like really using those things to help build connection. So
Absolutely.
yeah, most of the like all of the workshops come with like the worksheets we think through. We have these times, and I give participants time to really reflect. It's not usually me pounding knowledge on folks, but helping folks understand who they are so that they can understand others as well.
Yeah, that's dope. How long did it take you to come up with, I guess, that syllabus or that kind of like curriculum?
So my mission statement, to be honest, I was working with a branding and a strategy consultant, Magnolia and Penn, and they helped really with like the first drafts of the mission. And through my VIP experience, I was really able to connect myself and root myself in my why,
Mm,
which kind of helped me draft those things. And then I've been doing the Blaze Business Intensive these last few weeks.
okay.
So part of week 2 with the business plan was, to create a mission, vision, and values. And I had some, but with the prompts that Casey gave and the ways in which she challenged me to think about these things, I was able to refine them. But so combined with, working with Magnolia and Penn and working with the Blaze group, and then also with my educational background, it really helps because I have been training before. I've worked with other people, so I've done things for other people that I liked and things that I didn't
Right.
care for. So, my experiences really kind of really helped with that as well. It's how I want to show up in my business, like just like my core values are how I want to show up in life. I have values for the business as well, and that's how I want to show up. And I shouldn't have to tell people what my values are. They should be able to look at the work that I do and the way that I choose to show up and understand what those values are. Like my business values are authenticity, uh, empathy, growth, and connection. So when
Mm,
people hear my values, they should not like come as a surprise to them, but you feel that, like you feel the authenticity, like you feel the connection. So they, my values don't have to be said. They are things that should be felt.
yeah. And it just kind of exudes out of you. It's just like, and then you're like, oh yeah, I get it. Like I see it. You don't have to tell me, like it just, you are what you are. So I love that. um, wait, I just lost my next question. Um, so wait, how did you meet Casey? How did you guys get connected? Because I don't think I caught that part of the
So yeah, so I was introduced to Blaze Group through Jasmine Prince, who is the founder and CEO of Magnolia and Penn.
Okay.
Yeah, so my consultant linked me with Blaze Group.
Hey, they do say that there's power in connections, and sometimes you just got to be in the right room with the right people for things to take off. So yeah, and I recently just heard that. So yeah, you're just a walking testament of that. Very cool. Um, dang it, I
How
lost.
did you get connected to Blaze?
I honestly, I can't even tell you. I feel like it might have been just an Instagram ad. It was really the title of No Longer My Burden. And I was like, oh, this is a kind of kick that I'm on, because I don't feel like I need to feel like I'm walking around with burdens, or like I was like, yeah, this is something I can let go of. And then from the concept, and like the little description she had, I was like, this is really, exciting. I'm here for it. And then I've kind of gotten into the habit of just at least once a month trying to join like some kind of challenge, to just kind of break me out of whatever, just kind of going through that whole I guess growth, self-discovery thing. And I think it's just kind of nice. You always learn something, and then at the end of it you're like, oh wow, this is something I can use in real time. And just like, why not? So it was just like perfect for it, and I was like, why not? And again, I can't say enough how thankful I was for it, because a lot of the presentations, it was spot on. I was like, if you're not talking to me, then I don't know who you're talking to. So I was like, you women are amazing and I love it. And I was like, yeah, my people are here. Because I'm always, well, they do say you attract, your people, or your people will find you. And I'm just always looking for my people, and just kind of grooving in that direction, because if we're gonna be here, we may as well have fun and at least try to do something good in the world.
Definitely.
At least that's my theory. So like in all the work that you do, how is it that you practice self-care? Like what are some of the things that you kind of implement to make sure that you're taking care of Rikketta all the time?
Man, that's a good question because for a little bit I was not. Like I wasn't taking care of myself and I didn't even realize it. Like I was
Mm,
just going into autopilot and then like wondering like why is my stomach hurting all the time? Why do I keep getting these headaches? Like so I slowed down a bit in December, and between talking to my therapist and my business coach with Speaking for Profit, I was hearing the same things. I'm like talking to people about what's going on, and folks are telling me the same things. Like, you need a mantra, you need affirmations, like you need a morning routine, you need like a set way that you like kind of check into your business and check out each day. Like really
yeah,
telling me those things. So over the last few weeks, just focusing on me and learning that when I focus on me, like the business things, some of the business things are coming a lot more natural.
yeah,
So we've been waking up, my wife and I have been waking up in the mornings and we'll read a little bit, just a few pages. Her book, we're reading something separate. I make some tea, drink a little bit. We do Pilates together. And
yeah.
then
Pilates. I've tried. I was like, ooh, got me a little Pilates bar at home. So yeah,
yes,
I'm a fan of Pilates.
yeah, so we do some Pilates, via YouTube University, and
Love
then
it.
I just then I slowly check into my business after Pilates. I journal, and then I start on my tasks for the day. But having my morning routine and reading, like I printed out my mission, vision, and values and put it in a frame this week. So
Ooh.
just saying those things out loud every day. I have the Trailblazers Creed from Casey through the Business Intensive. And I have like these, I don't know if you can see them, affirmation card decks.
Oh, I like that.
And they're like fill in the blank. So they have some things, but they have like some specific ones. Like I read one today about time. It says, I'm not too old to like fill in the blank. So for
Ooh,
me, I'm saying I'm not too old to be a food critic. And it's never too late for me to attend culinary school.
there you
My
go.
my timing will look entirely different than the next person's because my path is determined by what I desire, how I learn, and how I feel.
Ooh.
So just reading one a day and on top of the ones that I have, already printed for myself. Um, that's how I've been taking care of myself. But I lost it for a second, girl.
I mean, everyone kind of goes through that, and it's just, kind of just reminding ourselves like of our why and just checking in with ourselves, like, okay, I don't feel good today. Why? Or if I feel great today, just exploring that why, so you can just kind of stay in tune with it. Because yeah, I feel like all of 22, I was kind of hard on myself because I
Hmm.
felt like I would get into a groove and it would be like, yeah, like we doing this thing. And then it was just like another day, we're like, oh, or just it felt like a lot of highs and lows. And I felt like I couldn't
Yeah.
remain like in track with it or something. But I mean, hey, I think it was you that said it. My best is gonna look different every day. And that was
Yep.
another thing that I was like, yes. And just kind of cut yourself some slack. Like every day looks different, so your best will naturally be different, depending on the day.
Yeah. I'm glad that you were able to take that.
Yes, I was. That's why I was like, you must have been my long lost friend that's been in my head. I don't even know how long. Because a lot of things, were being said. And as you said earlier, it was just like, okay, I'm not alone. Like these feelings and emotions, when it comes to being an entrepreneur, just being a woman in 2022, 2023, it makes sense and it resonated. And that was just obviously the point for Casey's, event, and just kind of be empowering and just, you're not alone. It's just, it looks different for everybody.
Yeah.
So that was definitely cool. So where can people connect with you and kind of like link up with you and follow you on social or your website? Where can they find you?
Thank you for asking. So folks can find me at Cynette Consulting on Instagram. So that's CYNETTE Consulting um, at gmail.com, CynetteConsulting.com. You can find me everywhere at Cynette Consulting, okay?
Okay, so before
Facebook, Cynette Consulting.
yes, and I'm gonna drop those links underneath the episode so you guys don't have to worry about like, wait, what did she say? Can you repeat? Can you repeat? Because it'll be in the episode notes. But also before people connect with you, I guess, is there a mindset that they should be in already? Because sometimes I feel like when folks kind of reach out to consultants, they kind of think of them as like a magic green pill. And it's like they're just going to be the end all be all. And it's just like, I just have to show up and just have someone save the day. So before somebody kind of hits you up, what kind of mind space should they be
Ooh, thank you for asking. That's so important.
in? Yes.
So, yeah, so the mind frame is you got to be ready to work. You got to be ready to be honest, and you got to be ready to take action.
Yes. Okay, you heard her. Action and be ready for some work. Because I don't know who said this or where I heard it from, but you have to be a participant of your own rescue. So someone, if you reach a hand out, you got to reach back. So yes, just be ready to work. And she's obviously fantastic. So you guys look great. Well, thank you again, Rikketta, for joining me this lovely afternoon. It was so great talking to you, and we will be talking.
I can't wait.
Yes.